Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's lecture, we'll see that the data retrieval technique. So in this topic, we'll see that how can we use a select statements in a different ways. How can we use a columns and table alias in the select clause, and we can see like how can we use the data filters and sort options into the select clause. And then we have the different clauses into the oracles. In that lecture, we'll see only the oracle where clause, from clause, and order by clause. Okay, moving to next, like see like we'll see we'll start with the how can we use the select statements in a different ways. So before going to the all the syntax and the examples, I'll tell you like a select query, which is it's a part of the data query language. Okay, so select query which is used to only the extract a data from your database. With the help of the select query, we can just extract a data from database only. It is just a read only data. We cannot perform any operations on that data. Just for to the to view purpose, we can see like a the data which is extracted from that select statements. Okay, so basically like we have different options. How can we use a select statement? So here I already give the some syntax, so let me go to the SQL developer. Okay, so first syntax is like a, for example, this is my employee table, and my query is like a select star from employee. For example, in this employee table, I have different columns name. Almost I have like a 11 columns names, but as per my requirement, I don't want to see the all the columns. Okay, I want to extract only the few columns only. For example, from this table, I want to extract only the employee ID, my first name, last name, salary, and department. That columns only I want to extract. So how can we write a select query? So my select query be like a select. Select is nothing but your command, which is part of the DQL. Then we can put the required columns, what columns I want to extract. So that columns I can put here. So select my column name as a employee ID. Then I'll put the comma in this all these columns, after the columns like employee ID, comma, first names, comma, last names. Similarly for to the salary and department, and then I'll use the from. So from is nothing but my from clause. So from clause is uh, always we used before the table names, because we are giving the instructions to the database data. You can extract a data from this table, so that's the reason like a from clause is mandatory to put before the table name. So here I want to extract only the 5 columns only. Okay, so that's the reason I kept only 5 columns here between the select clause and from clause. Okay, then after the employee, I'll put the semicolons. Okay, so semicolons is nothing but like a we are saying to the SQL like my query or my code is ended here. So how can we run this query? You can just select this query, and here into the top hand side you can see like a green buttons which is run statements. Either you can run through the control enter. So once you put the control enter, you can see like previously my columns was 11, but I want to extract only the few columns only. So that time I can be use these statements, my select, then required columns from table names. Okay, similarly in different way also you can be put. For example, I want to extract all these columns. Okay, in this case like what will be happen like in this case you have only the few columns only. Okay, for example here we have only few columns, means like a 11 columns, but in real time projects or real time like a might be you have 100 columns or 200 columns or 500 columns. So that time it is not possible to put all these columns names between the select clause and the from clause. It will be time consuming and it will be take long a lot of time to put one by one columns into the select clause. So that's the reason like a SQL is provided the provision that instead of putting the all these columns name, if you want to pull all these columns from the database or a table, so instead of that all the columns name you can put as a star. So star is nothing but like a put pull the all the columns from that table. So that's the reason like we are using a star. Star is defining that all the columns. So I what I'll do that if I want to extract all these column from my particular table, I'll put like a select, then star from clause, and then my employee table. So employee is nothing but my table name. Here I already put the syntax like a select star from table name. So table name is my employee table name. So I'll put the and I'll run the query. So I'll see the all these columns like so either you can put the column name or either you can put the star also. So both lay as per your convenience, as per your requirement, you can put that uh, the column name or the star. So next one is like a you with the help of the select query, you can use the where clause also. Like a where clause is used to filter a data based on your particular condition. For example, in my employee table I have a lot of data, but I don't want to see the all the data from my table. I want to extract only the few data. For example, I want to see only few employee IDs or few department ID. So that time I can be use the filter conditions. In that for that filter conditions we have the where clause. So where clause will put that after the from clause. Okay, so here I put the syntax here like a select star from my table name where, and then we have the filter condition and ended with the semicolon. So what is the example here? Like a select, I can put my column name, these are the columns I required, then I'll put the from clause, then employees as my table name, and where is my clause, and then I want to filter a data based on that department ID equal to 50 and employee ID equal to 192. So what will be happen like from this table I'll get only one record whose employees ID is 192 and department is like a 50. Okay, so that time so this way like we can extract a data based on that filter conditions. Okay, so let me run this query. I selected query and run that. So here I'll get one records only, which is my employee ID is like a 192 and my department ID is like a 50. So this case like we can be use the filter conditions in the select clause also. But here is another way like for example, in a where clause, if you want to if you want to filter a data based on that different conditions or different values. For example, here in a first example we show like we filter a data only onto the one department ID, but instead of that if I want to add a filter on different department IDs. So equal to operator will be not work, because equal to operator will be used only for to the one inputs only. If you want to give different like inputs like multiple inputs or multiple values, here I give the one example like okay, so instead of the equal to operator you can use the in operator. Okay, so in operator, you can give the multiple filter conditions or multiple values you can give that. Instead of the different filter conditions, in a single filter conditions, you can give the multiple department ID. So this is the syntax like a select all this my column name from employees where department ID in these are my values. I want to filter a data for department ID 50, department ID 30, department ID 20. Okay, and let me run this query. Okay, now I'll see that data for this all these department ID. So here you can see like this is 30 department ID, this is 50 department ID, and this is 20. So similarly, like we can use the filter conditions in a select clause also. Okay, so next one is like a select query we can be used for creating a tables also. For example, in real-time project, like every time like we are asking to create some backup tables. So in traditional way, like we'll take lot of time, like with the create statements and everything will be taking a lot of time to copying a data. So this is like a this is the, like a simple way to create a table based on your select query. Okay, so what is the syntax like my create table, table name as, then my select query. Okay, so based on that select query we can create a same table with a different name. So this is my statement. The create table, my table name is like a emp underscore 01 as select star from employees. So let me run this query and you can see like here query is running. and a table will be created. So here table is created, employee emp underscore 01. So let me show you the data first. So let me run the select query, select star from emp underscore 1. So you can see like a table it's created along with like a all this data, whatever the data present in a select employee table. So similarly data will be copied into the emp underscore 01. So this is like how can we create, and this is where like a how we can create a duplicate tables with the help of the select statements also. So similarly also like for example, I don't want to put all these columns and all this value based on that particular department IDs or particular job ID. I want to create some tables only. For example, in employee table I have the different department, but my requirement is like I want to create a table for only for department ID 50. So how can we do that? In the same query we can be use that, but instead of the select query, we can be use the where clause also in a select query. So this is like my syntax: create table name as select star from table name. Okay, and then we can be use a where clause. Okay, so similarly this is the example: create table table name as emp underscore 02 as, then I'll use a select clause. I don't want to see all these columns, I want only the 5 columns. So whatever the columns I want to copied into my new table, so that columns I'll put into the select clause, then I'll use the from clause, then employees where department ID equal to 50. Okay, so what will be happen? So it will be extract data only for department ID 50, and that all this data will be copied and paste into the department sorry emp underscore 2 with this column name only. Okay, so currently we have these columns. Okay, but when we copy the data into the emp underscore 2 with the help of this query, so my other columns will be not appear. For example, commissioner pct, my manager id, my hire date, phone number, that columns will be not present into the emp underscore 2. So first let me run this emp underscore 2, show the this is not table exist. Okay, so table is not exist. So let me run the create statement now. Okay, so create statement is executed. Okay, emp underscore 2 table is created. So let me run the select query for emp underscore 2. So here you can see like a my table is created with that 5 columns only: employee ID, first name, last name, salary and department. And here I can see only 50 department ID, I don't see the other department ID like a 30, 40, 20. I can see only one department ID. So based on that your requirements, or based on that filter condition, you can create a different tables also based on that department ID or job ID. So this is how like we can be create a tables. Okay, so similarly we can be use a create a table based on that condition also. So this is the one another example, like for example, in most of the times in the interview, like the question will be asked like how can we create a table with a structure without a data. For example, I want to create a table structure only. For example, I don't want to show this data, I want only the column ID, column names, my constants, everything I want to create only, but I don't want the data should be copied. Okay, the data should not be copied. So in that case, what will be like a my statement will be like a my create table name as select star from table, and then in a where conditions we can give the false conditions. So false condition is nothing but like a we can keep the condition in a the false manners. For example, it means like a 1 equal to 2 or 10 equal to 20. So 10 is not equal to 20, right? So this means like a this is my false condition. So you can put any like a numbers. It's not means like a you need to put 1 equal to 2. You can keep like 100 equal to 200, 300 equal to 400, or you can keep like a equal to b also. So similarly you can keep in any false conditions to create only structure. Okay, so here you can see like I don't have emp underscore 03. Okay, I want to create only structure from employee table. Okay, I'll run this query. Okay, and see like I'll create a table. So see, emp underscore 3 is created. So let me run this table. So you will see only columns names. So see, you will see only columns names. So data is not copied because I keep the condition as a false. Okay. Similarly, also like a not only for to the numbers, even for to the character also it will be same only. So let me run this create statements where I put the a equal to b. Okay, so let me run these select statements. So here also you can see like a same structure is created. So I you can use n number of like a false conditions, like any kind of the false condition you can keep, like it's not like a equal to b or 1 equal to 2, you need to put, you can put n number of things like a. So this is how like a, we can create a structure with the help of the select query and filter conditions. So this is how like a, we are using the select query. Okay, so next one like working on to the column alias and table alias. So table alias and column alias we are used for to the temporary basis. For example, in real time also like some person is called as a nickname. Okay, just a temporary name. They are not using a real name. So similarly also here also like instead of the existing column name or existing table names, we can use some temporary table name for particular query. Okay, for temporary basic only. Okay, so why we are using the column alias and table alias? For example, my column name is like a too big. For example, my column is uh like a employee underscore id underscore name, like that. So every time I cannot put the column name like into the big format. Okay, okay, so what I'll do, like I can keep the my column name in a short only. So here like see, my table name is like a employees. Okay, so instead of that employee I can keep like a emp, or I can keep e only. So what will be happen like a, for this select query, my employee table name is like a e only. Okay, my employee name is like a e only. Okay, so this is how can you can change the table name or column name for temporary basics. Because why we are using that to because this based on that table alias and column alias, your query will be like in understanding like it will be like a more, it will be not more complex, it will be understanding like a. So any whenever come the new person come into your project like so he can easily understand like these are the columns used for to the particular tables, these are the table alias used for to the particular column names, so he will easily identify that. So that's the reason like we can be use the alias as a table alias or column alias. Okay, so similarly also like in the column alias you can see like this is the syntax. Okay, select my column name as what is the my column alias from table name. So in this like example you can see like my employee table, in that I have the one columns employee underscore id. So instead of that, I'm keeping the column name as a emp underscore id. Okay, let me run this actual table. Okay, so here you can see like my column name is as a employee underscore id. But when I run this query with the help of the alias in a table, or sorry, column, I can see like my employee underscore id become a emp id. So this is just a temporary basis. We are changing a name for our understanding only. This is not a permanent change. Okay, this is just a temporary change only for to the select query only or particular code only. So this the column name is not a permanent. Okay, just for to the temporary basis we are changing that. Okay, similarly also you can use table alias and well as a column alias also like into the single query. So here I'm using the employees table name as a emp and employee id column name as a emp id here. Okay, how like a this way like a, you can use the column alias and table alias. Okay, then we can see like a order filter we already see like we can use the filter condition based on that particular like a job id or particular department id. Based on that you can filter a data and you can reduce a data into the your select clause also. Okay, then we can see like a sort. data sorting. So data sorting is nothing but like when you want to whatever records you extracted, you want to sort in a particular manners. For example, highest to lowest, okay, or lowest to highest, or A to Z, or J to A, in like a ascending or descending order. That time we are using the order by clause. So order by clause is always come at the end in a select query. Okay, so whenever you use a order by clause, it should be like a year at the end only. So what is the syntax for order by clause? So select my all this column name, okay, from my table name, order by, and then column names. So for which columns you want to do ascending or descending, that columns you can mention that, and then you can mention as a ascending or descending. Okay, so this is the example. The first example, what we are saying like a select my all columns names. Okay, my column name from employees. Then I put the where conditions. Okay, I use the filter condition also, and then I use the order by clause on employee ID. Okay, so once I run that query, so you will see like a my employee ID in descending order. So okay, 107, 106, 105, 105, 4, and 103. This is in descending order. If I remove this, okay, if I remove this as a descending, and if I keep as a ascending, okay, sorry. Okay, ascending, then my employee ID will be into the ascending order. You can see like a 103, 104, 105, 106, 107. Okay, this way. For example, in a SQL, if you forget to put order by clause after the employee ID, okay, and you still run the query, so what will be happen like a order by clause will be run as a ascending order by default. Okay, in SQL they already define like a when a user not put any order by clause after the employee ID, that time order by clause will be executed as a by default in a ascending order. Okay, here you can see like in ascending order. So let me just change employee ID to the first name for understanding purpose. Okay, and let me rerun that query. So you will see like my first number will be like a your ascending order. See, a Alexander, Bruce, David, Nina, and Valley. So in that way, it is like a filter a data, sort a data. Okay. Similarly, like a you can use n number of column name into the order by clause. So similarly, I used order by clause based on that employee ID first in the descending order, then my first name into the ascending order. So similarly, also you can use that based on your requirements. You can add the filter. Sorry, you can add the order by clause, and based on that sort order you can put the ascending or descending also this way. And another way is like a so instead of that columns names, okay, here is the last example like a what is the here like a select all these my columns name from employees order by 143. So 143 is nothing but like a it's a position of your your column name. So one is nothing but like my employee ID. So instead of keeping my employee ID name instead of one, so that is also same. Even fourth is nothing but like a fourth position of select clause. Okay, one, this is employee ID is one, first name is two, last name is three, and fourth is job ID. So my order by be clause order in order by clause, my fourth position will be like my job ID, and third will be like my last name. So this is how also you can put your the position into the order by clause. But whatever columns you put, for example, in my select clause, how many columns I have? One, two, three, four, and five. So you have permission to put the order by clause till fifth numbers only. So you cannot put like a my position is like a eight. Okay, my position is like eight. So it will be not execute because SQL will not find the eight position, because in the select clause I have only fifth positions only. If I run this query, SQL will be execute the error because he don't find the eight position. So you can see like a order by item must be number in a select clause, at least expressions. Okay, so that's the reason like how many columns you put. So similarly you need to put these positions, not beyond that. So how that this how like we will use the order by clause.